morning. This is the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show right here on Camnet TV. Honorable, how are you?
Yeah, thank you. As a honorable, I'm very well, thank you. And honorable member of parliament for Ibex Hill area.
You know, this kind of thing has really gone. People are now like, no, honorable.
It has gone viral.
You know, guests just came like, no, honorable is the honorable.
Yeah. You know what I mean. So I'm the member of parliament for Ibex Hill area. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I'll be drilling a borehole anytime soon. You know.
Okay. So how is the weather treating you?
No, at least now we are getting back to normal.
We're getting back to normal.
We're getting back to normal. Everything is getting back to normal. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, but perhaps today, and yesterday was a bit warm. But Saturday, Friday, those 2 days.
Yeah, those
freezing.
were not good days. But overall, at least we are getting back to normal. And as you can see, I'm live and alive.
Yeah, not the way you were looking on Saturday when you were sitting here with the guests.
It's because of
it's
because of the location.
The location.
I'm sure even you feel loosened up because I mean, you know, sitting on this chair, I feel like, oh my goodness, whatever. Constance, we don't have much time.
Yeah.
Let's quickly go to
the morning bust.
Then we'll be joining our guests on the other side. They are already in the studio. It's a lovely morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. My name is Carla Chiman Constance Mwemba, though she's been wishing to become Constance Mwemba. Did I say Mchima or something?
Please, the morning boost.
Camnet viewers, and welcome to a quick morning workout. This is very good for you as you're working on your heart, you're working on your body to burn some fats in the body. Let's do this. It's going to be very basic. You have exercised before, you've never done it. This is the show for you. So, let's go. A warm-up is very good for you. Let's do a warm-up. So you march, that's your warm-up. I'm started with my left leg. And very soon I'll start now introducing the moves we're gonna do for this morning. Let's go. So that was just your warm-up for you. We're going to do the workout now. Okay. Let's go. Last one. And change. Marching. So that is very basic for you. I'm gonna combine the 4 moves together now. and then you're done with your morning workout. So do a matching, jumping jacks, and we're gonna punch some punches now. Okay, last one, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put them together now. Let's go. And marching. Okay, so you've done that, and then now you're going to do a little bit of squats. Okay, so we're gonna do 40 of them. Open your stance, make sure that your back is well aligned. So I'm gonna do some squats now here. Watch me. 10 of them. Okay, let's go. That's 10. $20. $30. Last 10. And 10. All right, that's it for today, and I'll see you again for another morning quick workout. Make sure that you tune in. This has been Isaac, your presenter, and I'm signing out.
No, from northern.
I knew.
But my mother is from northwestern.
Oh, okay.
Northwestern.
So, related then from
Oh, okay.
from the mother's.
Well, from Kasempa. So you're partly Kaonde.
I'm partly Kaonde, and
But you do speak Kaonde also.
just a greeting.
No. Yepman.
We don't go to them never.
So I never nge mwafika tu ponka hapo kafu wako nikemwa gonsa kwamba kika ndi ukira ponka hapo ne.
Kafu wako ne.
This man you are seeing Elijah is also Kaonde. He knows nothing about Kaonde. This man over there on the camera.
That one.
We have another one, Isaac upstairs is also Kaonde. He knows nothing about Kaonde.
Yes, imagine.
So you people, you seem to be lost. You must know your roots.
No, but it's not Kaonde.
No, he's from Eastern and the mother is Kaonde.
Not Kaonde.
No. He's got a Kaonde blood.
Okay, that I appreciate.
Kaonde
But it's
blood.
not Kaonde.
So he should also, I mean, look, the father is from Eastern.
No.
Northern.
No,
I'm sorry.
Please, I protest.
Because you are confusing me. You know, we're already laughing here, even before we were on set. Anyway, we were having a background discussion which has culminated into that discussion finding us on the set. President Peter Chanda of the New Congress Party is already on the set, joining us early in the morning. And of course, Mr. Francisco Mumba. Mr. Francisco Mumba is a governance activist or specialist or expert. It's just one and the same thing. And of course, today we are trying to discuss the issue of national unity. You know, in between the week, we've had sentiments coming in from some quarters. No, this party wants to dethrone this particular chief. Now this one is trying to blah, blah, blah. Now others came on board to say, no, Zambia is united and no one is going to divide us. Several sentiments along the way. And among the people that said Zambia is united and we should rally behind the leadership of President Edgar Lungu, because President Edgar Lungu has managed to unite this nation, judging from his appointments in government and so forth and so on, is President Peter Chanda, who really says President Edgar Lungu has managed to unite this country, and we can't take away anything from that. But before we go into the discussion, let's just hear what he said so that we can have the basis of the discussion.
Media platforms today, where certain political elements are stating that the Patriotic Front has no agenda for Zambia, and they are sponsoring a civil strife between the Tongas and the Bembas. We want to state and put the facts on record that there is no pending civil strife between the Tongas and the Bembas. President Lungu has demonstrated leadership. Today, when you look at the composition of his leadership, and the chief economic advisor to the president in this country comes from Southern Province, Mr. Bene, that tells you that the president has a vision to unite the entire country. We have seen unprecedented development that the Patriotic Front has taken to Southern Province. Today we are saying Southern Province has got a newly built provincial administration with houses being built, Choma being transformed. I want to state that those that are stating that Patriotic Front has no agenda, they are the ones with no agenda. It is no wonder that we find that the same political party is sponsoring a religious thief or maybe criminal, like a prophet who is based in South Africa, who is busy scandalizing and cursing the president. I want to advise any prophet that is being sponsored to curse the president that he should understand one thing. For President Lungu to become president, the hand of God is upon him, the favor of God is upon him, and his humility has lifted him up. He has no issue against anybody. And I want to state that the fact that he's the president of the Republic of Zambia is blessed by God Almighty. And the Bible is very clear. It says you cannot curse what God has blessed. So for this reason, even the social media report where somebody is saying President Lungu will have no peace, I want to state that the president will continue to enjoy the peace, as Zambia is a peace and loving country. And the president loves this country and has demonstrated leadership beyond anybody's expectation. Let's look at the developmental projects that are happening in the country. Let's look at how the road infrastructure is being done in the country. I want to state that all those that are sponsoring prophets to scandalize the president are simply invoking a curse upon their lives. And I want to advise the church, I'm calling upon the church, that it is time for us to intensify prayers and ensure that we pray for the peace of this country. Because what is happening is that certain people are planting a seed of discourse to try and cause a civil strife, and that will never happen, because Zambia is a Christian nation and will remain resolute to unite this country peacefully. I thank you.
Mr. President, you are a president of a political party in the opposition. But others say you sound even more of a Sunday Chanda, even more than a Sunday Chanda. You sound even more than a spokesperson of the PF.
That's a question.
That's a question.
No, basically we are in alliance. That's one thing.
This is what I've said, that you are in an alliance. But
political alliances are there. And in 2016, myself, Dr. Dan Pule, Cosmo Mumba, the MMD president, then Felix Mtati, and the others, we joined forces and entered into an alliance with the Patriotic Front. And that alliance is still binding. So we have a duty to defend the policies that we sold to the Zambian people. So people of Zambia need to understand that political alliances are there. Even in Germany, the Chancellor is there now. the German Chancellor.
No, we do understand. We do agree.
And when you are in alliance, you are duty bound to defend the policies
on a daily basis.
Basically, because checks and balances, we do them. If there is something wrong,
and it seems you are the only one who is defending the alliance. I've not seen anybody. I've not seen Cosmo. In fact, I've not seen Cosmo. I don't know. I can't even remember the last time Cosmo.
Well, the level of patriotism in terms of how God has graced us with leadership, it differs. I can be able to state that whatever I do, it is out of national patriotism. And if you look at what I stated, I will be able to give an example. That's why today I came with a Bible. I will give you one typical example.
No, I've seen your Bible.
David was ordained to be king instead of King Saul, or in place of King Saul, at the age of 17. He never did anything to harm the king who was presiding. In fact, he defended. When he saw Goliath insulting the country, insulting the king, he became upset. And to be honest with you, I'm not one person that would sit down. I saw the clip, I watched the clip, I also saw it on Opera Mini where somebody just raises up and begin to say, Edgar Lungu, I curse you.
You are talking about Sia One. You are talking about Sia One. That's a person you call is the religious thief.
You are talking. You will not have peace in this life. You will not have peace now. You will not have peace after you leave office. Who is he to insult somebody that is blessed? Because for somebody to become president, I want to assure you that it takes the hand of God. It's a blessing of God for somebody to become a president. That's why David, even the person that killed King Saul, David did not spare him, because he said, you cannot touch the anointed one.
Right. Okay. That's why you are calling him a religious thief. So you are calling Sia One a religious thief. Is that what you mean?
Let me tell you, there are people that...
I just asked a simple question. So you are calling
there are people,
Sia One...
There is a way I made a statement. As you tabulated it there, it is up to him to get to his conscience and understand that what he's doing, you understand, he's trying. Because where is he getting,
I just asked a simple question. So you mean that Sia One is a religious thief?
Where is he getting the authority to case the Republican president?
It's fine. Mr. Mumba.
Yes, Kalan, I think you've been so kind with your words this morning. First, let me say good morning to viewers out there. I think let me begin by saying you've stated that probably you are picking it from what Peter had indicated, that under the Patriotic Front, specifically under Edgar Lungu, the country is united. That's actually the position you've made. I think the opening statement I said that he has united the country. I think to the contrary. I'll be honest here. I would not want to speak on the basis of this one or that one. But the truth is the country is more divided today than it has been ever. I think this is a fact. You can go on the ground and you realize how divided this country has become. One. Two, I think you've also been fair to the president of what was that party again? Sorry.
New Congress Party.
New Congress Party. You've been fair to him by stating that you thought he's taken up the position of Sunday Chanda and so on. I think, in my view, if you played that clip knowing that Sunday Chanda has not been taken out of there, I would begin to think probably he's a district PF chairman. That's my view.
Who, him?
The person who's been speaking in that clip.
It's him.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. In fact, I saw this clip and I began to ask myself, before the name ran under there, that, oh, is this a new district PF chairman? I want first to go through facts that I think equally the president of New Congress Party has indicated here on the set that even in Germany, oh no, that is wrong reference. Let's appreciate here that unless if the president has not appreciated in terms of political systems, the political system in Germany is totally different from a political system here in this country. And what it is in Germany is not in any way an alliance. It is a coalition government. What we have here under our constitution that we do not, or the law does not allow coalition government. And this is the more reason Butane has been hot on the basis of coalition government. And therefore, it's very important for us to appreciate that, yes, even when he's speaking, there's an alliance. That we appreciate that there's an alliance. But that alliance is loose, is not supported by any piece of legislation in this country. And to state that, oh, surely we should be able to appreciate us, that these are alliances, and then we make comparison to Germany, I think that would be very wrong. I think that's the starting point. Now, I think I will not want to dwell into matters of religion. I think I'm not competent.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about CR.
Yes, actually, I was going to tell you that you claim that the country is more divided now, like never before, under the leadership of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Where are you basing your allegations?
I think, first and foremost, let's appreciate
his point. President Peter Chanda's point is that President Lungu has managed to unite this country through appointments. Right, am I right? His appointments in government, they cut across the women, people from different ethnic groupings. Mr. President, you may correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I basically stated, first and foremost, I'll forgive him because he's my tribal cousin
but
trying to really get me to a district
for this show,
I'm president, whether he likes it or not. I'm president of New
for this show, we are putting aside the traditional cousinship.
So, but the fact is, when I said he has managed to unite the country, let me state one thing. We have in State House, just State House, amongst the political advisors, the economic advisor to the president, that was my basis. The economic advisor to the president comes from Southern Province. My point was on the basis of true, because these two statements came at the same time, where when you go to Opera Mini, you are going to find that story. An unknown author stated, even insulted our chief, say Sunday Chanda, Chief Chitimkuru, Richard Sakala, his brother, and another person. They are at the Dark Corner meeting, and they are talking about advancing the cause of putting a strife, a civil strife between the Tongas and the Bembas. And they further, you can imagine where the author further stated to say the four idiots have stated that idiots, you can imagine, and the paramount chief is there, quoted as an idiot. Further stated to say the four idiots have gone to an extent of stating that the Patriotic Front has no agenda for 2021. You understand? When you look at that, and I made a response in respect to that. One, we need to unite this country. And it is such sentiments coming from the mouth of government activists like him, stating that the Zambian people are more divided. And this is trying to create what I call a seed of discord. And it is sad that I'm seated next to a person that is planting a seed of discord. He's on record of trying to plant a seed of discord that this country is divided. I was in Choma.
He's planting a seed?
Yes, I mean, that's a seed of discord because look, I was in Choma just recently. You remember,
right?
I was on set and you interviewed me about the impending defectors and the people that we've appointed, leadership. You called me for that interview here. I was in Choma just recently. And I can tell you that I've operated from Choma. I was a maize dealer. Dealing with maize, buying maize from that market, Karikumbuyo railway station. You understand? And I stayed there. I have stayed in Choma for over a year. And if you look at Choma today, and my points was on two. Look at the way the president is spreading development. Those are the two things that I stated. You look at the composition of his leadership, look at the way he's spreading development, and look at the votes that he got. If I can tell you that in Dundumwezi today, there is more development that has been taken. The president has frequented Dundumwezi where he got 252 votes in the entire constituency. 252 votes. But look at what he has taken there. And this is what I was saying. You cannot allege to say the country is more divided.
All right,
There
thank
are
you so
certain
much.
factors
Okay.
that have divided
Thank you
political
so much.
sentiments and sentiments from governance activists like him that have created a rift and trying to create a rift. But I want to state, for me, my point was there is no rift between the Tongas and the members.
I think here,
And there is no civil strife pending.
All right. Let's give him a chance, and then we'll
I
throw
think
the ball
here,
back to you.
first and foremost, I'm not going to legitimize statements that are not been proved. I think he's using statements wherever he has read in terms of some 4 people who sat and so on. I'm not going to draw into that, but I want to go into the reality of fact. One, Kalan, whether we like it or not, this country is highly polarized. This country is highly polarized. Today, go out there, I think is the issue of political parties. Where do you belong? You belong to this political party or you belong to political party. And the Patriotic Front, unfortunately, has been on record, I think, trying to put a wedge. And the wedge that I'm seeing, where they want to pit a political party against a chief and the paramount chief. That in itself is what is dividing. Because what are you trying to imply by putting this political party against a chief? And you are saying that chief has a following. Meaning what? Why don't you just say that individual has a following? But by saying that chief, you are trying to pit this group of people who are under this chiefdom to think, let's defend our chief.
But it's those statements that President Chanda probably saying you are planting a seed of discord in this
Which
nation.
ones? No, these statements are coming out. I think it's on the record. Go around, you hear there's a member of parliament who has said that. That the chief, paramount chief Chitimukuru, has a following. As against...
No, that's Tutu Angolove. Me, I'll mention it.
Okay.
I've got no time to hide the statements
Indeed.
here. It's Tutu Angolove, member of parliament for Kabwe Central.
And what did he say?
You've just said what you said.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. What does that mean? What does it mean? 2, I think, Kalan, you have been on record too. For me, I follow events. You've been on record. I think you can agree with me. You can go and pick that clip. There's been a cry in this country where a certain grouping of people feel they are being, paged out of government. They are not part to the ruling, system, to the ruling class. That has been there. If you can go back to the record of when this police officer when there was a by-election in Sesheke, I think you recall. I think you are aware sentiments that come constantly in that regard. That in itself is dividing. This country has been a very strong country.
Let me get it from you.
Let me just give you an example.
Yeah, but
I'm married.
Okay, let me get it from you.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the political or those appointed in the civil service, they're more on ethnic grounds? Is that what you mean? And those that are from certain regions are being plucked out of government? Whereas President Peter Chanda is also saying to the contrary that, look, you are lying, because in this government, President Edgar Lungu has united this nation by way of appointments. He's just given an example that the president's economic advisor is from Southern Province.
In the Bank of Zambia governor.
Look.
So the economy of this country is currently in the hands of the Tongas.
Look. No, I think let's be fair.
So for me,
I think for me, I don't want to dwell into tribal sentiments. In fact, by the moment you begin to speak tribal, it just shows how backward someone is. I would not want to speak on tribal because I'll tell you what. First and foremost, look at it. For me, I come from the Eastern Province. That's the first thing. I've married from my wife who comes from Western, Southern Province. So I would not want to speak on tribal in terms of this grouping. But the truth that this country is highly polarized. This I would ask the president of Congress Party to challenge me. It's a truth on the ground today that this country is highly polarized. Mr.
Challenge him.
Well, he's now refined the statement.
What?
Meaning, the concept of the country being divided is not there.
It's divided.
Let me state one thing. I'll challenge him.
Please challenge.
This division, is it in your mind or on real on the ground?
It's real on the ground.
No, it's in your mind.
Are you sure?
Because I don't know if you've been going around the country. I want to tell you that our people on the ground, they are busy minding their business. It is us. It was Cornelius Mitwa, who is on record just three weeks ago. He made a statement which was very phenomenal, and I was happy that one of my spiritual fathers, Bishop Karumbinga, commended Honorable Cornelius Mitwa for that statement. Cornelius Mitwa is on record of having made one statement that I agree with him. He said, look, you people here on the ground should not be divided, because us, as members of parliament, we mingle freely at parliament with Patriotic Front members of parliament. And I've been to parliament. And I see how they mingle, they joke, they laugh. When they go inside, that is where you see now the politics, when they get inside the house. But when you go out, let me tell you, the government chief whip and the opposition whip, the leader of the opposition, they share the same office. Two secretaries, one secretary for the chief,
but the
for the leader of the opposition, and the other one.
But the question,
no,
President, the question
is,
probably
they mingle freely. People on the ground, if I can tell you, if you're talking about division, they are not there. It was just 3 days ago when Daniel Chisenga, the consul general, was marrying Tinta. We should not talk about this division. You know, there are certain statements. Yaliyo tulanda, like Ephraim sang in one song, he said, "Iliyo ili ashite, iliya kuleta na pansaka. Ili ashite akulanda okuwati our people are divided or there is division on the grassroots." That is not the fact. Amongst the cadres, I will agree, because the cadres, you know, the cadres have a different perception of the way they look at things.
All right.
Now, basically, this is the point I want to raise. Look, not too long ago, there was a statement that was issued by Bowman Lusambo that one opposition political party is not going to step into the Copper Belt. And the resultant of that statement, you saw it. I think this is what gives you a picture when you're talking about the country is divided. Because to begin with, even that statement, it was unfortunate. It shouldn't have come from a minister in that regard. Because by saying, okay, let's take it, let's not talk about the Copper Belt. Does it mean also that UPND has said that any of the PF leaders should not step into Southern Province? If they did that, that should be condemned. That should be condemned outrightly, because this country is one. Just as is very, very true, we need to unite ourselves. But in fact, the political leaders, the political leadership is the one that is dividing this country. So tell me the statement that was made by Honorable Lusambo. What does that statement amount to? Maybe challenge me.
Well, let me state one thing. Honorable Bowman,
I've left the floor for you.
Yes.
We are listening to you. Challenge yourselves.
Lusambo made that statement out of a reaction of what happened to His Excellency President in Monze. And it was the cadres, not the residents of Monze. It was the cadres, and some of the cadres were ferried from Lusaka, who tried to humiliate the president. It was that reaction.
But just there, what's the
You are
difference?
not answering this answer.
No.
What I'm saying, Honorable
Let me
Bowman
tell-
Lusambo,
I just want to ask one question just there. What's the difference between a resident of Monze and the political cadre of UPND based in Monze? There's a difference?
Let me tell you. Cadres, they have a particular line of thought that you cannot fathom. You understand?
So only cadres ferried from Lusaka can go and do.
You understand? Some of the cadres were ferried from Lusaka. That's a fact on record. Were ferried from.
It's not a
Lusaka.
fact because you don't have facts.
Yes.
You don't have facts, so it's not a fact.
Let me tell you one thing. The issue is Bowman
He's on the floor.
responded. Honorable Bowman Lusambo made that response because of what happened, where the president was being booed when he had gone there to actually commission projects that have been done.
Again, I want to correct the impression that he was not booed. There's nowhere I've watched from point A to Z. There's nowhere.
Then what was it? What is it that was done? Because for me, I watched.
Where the president... Did you hear anyone booing? Or probably I don't understand the term booing.
Let me tell you what really happened. Because we are talking, I'm responding to the issue. That statement would have not come from Honorable Bowman Lusambo if
I'm just saying
the
president. I'm saying the president was not booed anywhere, unless I was wrong in what I was watching. My ears and my eyes.
What did you watch?
All I watched was a situation where PF, and what I've gathered on the ground and what I've watched, the incident is that the police in the company of PF cadres went to remove the UPND Chitenges. Now, that incensed the UPND cadres, who went on the streets, and when the motorcade was passing, they kept shouting what I saw: forward, 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 their party symbol, forward. So I don't know whether shouting a party slogan is tantamount to booing. That's what I may be meant to understand.
No, we leave that. But for me...
We can't leave it. So do you agree with that? So you agree with that? So all I'm saying is there's no booing.
What is that sign? It's like they're telling you to say, look, here. You understand? Here. You have no grip.
So you agree? So you agree it's not booing?
No, let me state.
That's not booing. Let's agree to progress. That's not booing.
The issue is whatever happened was detestable and humiliating to the office of the president.
So if Akainde goes into material, and again, I don't know because it was not booed, I hear people here shouting, Pawato, PF, PF, and I heard that. So that is not detestable, or
the issue is, if you look at it,
why didn't you also? You are a leader. Why didn't you also condemn that?
Even the president himself stated that plan was aimed at humiliating the presidency.
It's leadership. In leadership, you can...
Now, the issue that we are dwelling on is that the reaction from Bowman Lusambo, the reaction from the PF, Northern or Copper Belt Province chairperson, the reaction from other is as a result of the incident that happened in Monze. Right. But for us from New Congress Party, we have one principle, and that is promoting peace, unity, and stability.
Okay, Mr.
Those are the things that we want. No wonder any statement that looks like dividing the country, that I fight it.
I think we appreciate if he's able to state that any statement that looks to be dividing the country is, as a Congress party, they would want to fight it. Now, let's put this very straight, because I think we'll be discussing things that I think is not going to help us in terms of the progress of unity. First and foremost, actually, it's important for now, and this I want to challenge everyone out there, that we should begin to think of a law that will address political parties specifically. Now, I am aware as of today that political parties are constitutional entities because they have been catered for under Article 60 in the Republican Constitution. And Article 60 provides that a political party will have a national character. And currently what I'm aware of is that there is a case going on in the court of law where someone is challenging that political parties that have not gone to Congress or that have not had their congresses, they must be deregistered. I think in my view, I don't want to dwell in on that case, but I think I want to add, I think it is very important, not only those political parties that have not gone to Congress, but let's look at the issue of constitutionalism, where it tells us that political parties must have national character. And he indicated to me that they are in alliances, and there are a political party, as mentioned others who are political parties. These political parties, they have never gone to a Congress. One, these political parties have never shown to us that they have got a national character. Three, so, and you see them speaking for Patriotic Front, then you begin to ask yourself, who is he speaking for? And this is the more reason I want to withdraw that statement that probably I thought, because I didn't know that it was you, that I thought it was a district chairman, but you are a political party leader. Quite correct. But you are a political party, and you are speaking for the Patriotic Front right through. Now I'm asking myself, what drove you to form a political party? What is the ideology of your political party? Do the ideologies of your political party and of the Patriotic Front sync? If they are, why don't you just join the Patriotic Front?
Now,
You know why I'm laughing? I'm happy the way you are looking at you.
now let me state one thing. The Congress Party was not formed yesterday. It was formed in 2004. We formed our party on the basis of ideologies, building on posterity, promoting peace, unity, and stability. Why did we form the party? We looked at the political divisions that emanated immediately when we led.
Okay, Mr. President, let us push in a phone call, then we'll get back to the discussion. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you too.
Yes. I just wanted to contribute that.
Go ahead, sir. Just tell us your name.
Yeah, this is Siawazire from Kaoma.
Yes, Mr. Siawazire.
Yes. So, I need to wonder, that man, the political party leader, is it for Congress party? I don't know whether he's representing PL or he's representing his own party.
No, he's presenting
Alliance.
new Congress party.
Yes.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, if he is representing his own party, I still know it's him supporting the Hello?
We are with you. Go ahead.
Yes, I see no reason of him supporting the PFO. Because the thing is, these are dividing our country, but issuing statements which are tribal. And the thing is, based on Mr. Bohan's statement, it's clear shows that our country is being divided.
Right.
So someone who supports such statements,
Okay, we've lost you. Right. You were on the floor.
Yes. So our party was formed on that basis where we looked at the political division that began. Let's look at Mwanawasa's crusade fight against corruption, which was targeted at FTJ. Immediately, you understand, immediately it triggered some form of division. And as you may be aware, Mwanawaso was rated that he's coming from the Bantu Botrato. You understand? So we looked at that. We said, look, if this continues, we are not a breakout from any other political party.
Correct.
We need to
Yeah, it's a new
on
party.
board
But the
to
problem,
promote
what
peace,
people are
unity,
concerned,
and stability.
what people are concerned with your political party is that you speak so authoritatively on matters that are affecting the PF. Whoever who speaks against the PF, then
let me state one thing. It's a basic principle. I'm one person that wants to stand on principles. I'm not a person that would change based on circumstances.
because of the alliance.
I like what Nelson Mandela stated. He said a man who changes his principles based on circumstances is not fit to be a leader. We entered in an alliance. In the 2016 election, I went across the country to sell the PF agenda. And I'm duty bound, you understand, to defend the policies that I told the Zambian people that if there are things that are not done correct, I've got access to speak to the leadership. We are able. I'll give you one example. Because some people think providing checks and balances is that you go on the mountain top and insult and do. Because what you see from other political leaders are politics of insult.
No, it's like a statement where you'd say, there are people that are saying that the PF have got no agenda for this country. The PF have an agenda, and the PF is taking development everywhere.
Is that not a fact?
Kalan, this is where I have a problem.
Is that not a fact? Don't we have a newly built provincial administration in Southern Province?
You keep referring to Southern Province. I don't know why.
I'm giving you one example.
That's
the issue. The issue is about.
I think, let me tell you a little bit. I'm not trying to, but you know, the more every time you talk, you want to refer to the presidency. Shanshan comes from Southern. No, Choma. No, I was in Choma. No, in Southern. that is also tribal in nature, because for you, it seems that unity is only if a Tonga is... all right, Mr.
Let me tell you one thing before you come. The issue is, if you look at the statement that we are trying to fight here, is one trying to create a rift between the members and the Tongas.
There's nothing like that. It's those statements. You go to television.
He just made that statement.
I don't think.
Are you sure? Can you run for? Have I talked about any tribe myself?
Now, let me tell you. The reason why I keep referring, because if you look at the sentiments that are coming, you understand, the sentiments that would come, and the statement, I was responding to a statement that clearly stated, you understand, that clearly stated that my paramount chief, Chitimuku, Sunday Chanda, Richard Sakala, who is the Daily Nation proprietor, and the other person, they are busy trying to create a rift between the Tongas and the Bembas. That is where I base that reaction. And my reference in regards to the southern province is one thing. The behavior of the members of parliament from southern province, their behavior is what I'm against.
How is their behavior?
One, if you look at, in terms of them pushing for developmental agenda, they are restrained from participating to any government function. Even when the president went to Monze to commission the houses, the member of parliament for that particular area would have been there. But let's look at Honorable Elijah Mchina in Northwestern Province. When the president went to commission projects in Ikelengi, he was on hand.
So that's what. So you get affected with
now,
that.
When you look at that itself, it's a disservice, because it's like they don't understand what they are supposed to do as members of parliament.
So as a member of parliament's job, from what I know, is to lobby for development. You lobby for development.
I was on set.
I'm asking, you lobby for development. That's the role of a member of parliament, lobbying for development.
But you know that
now,
they are restrained. They don't.
So I don't think so. There's a parliament there. Every day we hear, no, when is this road going to be done? When is this? I mean, you don't watch parliament? And that's where you are supposed to lobby. That's the correct place for you to lobby that development from. So do you think that just sitting next to a president in Choma, in Monze...
Look at this. Look at this.
All right, let's pick a phone call. Good morning. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Karan.
Urongo tumwisho, vipi?
This is Modern Mundi from Livingstone.
Yes, Modern.
Yes, first of all, I think my word of advice to the president who is representing on that media is being a servant of God. You have to be very much realistic with what he is talking to the public. Because one is representing God is after that to the people who God created and Jesus Christ died for them. Let him not support things which is in favor of the politician. If they want to do that kind of thing, let them just be part and parcel of politics. That's all.
Right.
The truth of the matter is the big man wants to stand up is not in unity. This was the way when President Sata was too around. Three, what I've discovered is the truth of the matter is this man, whatever question which you wish you have asked you, or the question which has been received from the big man in the lawsuit, he says answer. Where is it that you PF, whoever is representing at any media, any question he fails to answer? I saw that man yesterday saying HH here, there. Those remarks, they are not good. The servants of God as you are. The truth of the matter is, let's just see
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Thank you so much, my brother. You wanted to say something?
Yes, Karan, I think before Mr. Chanda reacts, I think let me put it on record. I think it would be sad for us to sit on this set and especially promoting some tribal sentiments. I think personally I would not want to be part to that, because I think before a tribe, we are all Zambians. I think that's a starting point, that we are all Zambians. One. Two, Mr. Peter Chanda has indicated actually that his political party started way back 2004. Well and good. I think the position that many of us probably out there, especially for me who's a governance specialist, I think I'm concerned because, to start with, like I've indicated, that political parties today, they have been catered in the constitution. And so they are constitutional entities. And therefore, they are up there for public scrutiny. And one, he's speaking more often for the PF. And we've never had a situation where it is on record in this country that these political parties, inclusive his and the PF, they are in an alliance. And him, Peter Chanda, has been appointed as alliance spokesperson. That, if it is given to the public, I think everybody will agree and say he's speaking for their alliance partners. But often he's not speaking for the alliance partners. And this is a challenge, and this is a problem that many of us are saying. Who is he speaking for? And if, for instance, he said a statement here, and a statement that may not go well with the Patriotic Front, I'll be honest with you, Patriotic Front will be very quick to disassociate with him. Why? They will even indicate that he is not our member. But if such statements were coming from, for instance, Sunday Chanda coming on TV, there's no one who's going to raise an issue, because Sunday Chanda is speaking for the Patriotic Front. And this is a challenge that we've thrown to the president here, that look, you are speaking as though you are a district chairman of the Patriotic Front. Because anyone, for instance, if we didn't run some writing under there, somebody would be thinking this is a PF member. And yet he's indicating that no, he is actually the president of a political party that was formed way back 2004. And probably I'll even throw a challenge here. Can he indicate to us from 2004 to date, how many years? Almost 16 years. Indicate if there's any record he went for a congress.
He's here, he can answer.
No, that's what I'm saying. If he went for a congress.
It's a quick question. I mean,
if he's not going for a congress,
we can allow him.
He can also give us
for Congress, Mr. President.
Perhaps give us also your national governing committee. I'm sure you must have a central committee and so on. But all we hear is Mr. Peter Chanda. Now, here's my other problem that I would have. One of the callers here has indicated, actually this is where the challenge is also. One of the callers has indicated it, and even him when he came with the Bible. He's a pastor. And he's belonging, or he comes from a very, very important, I think, discipline that I have a lot of respect, pastor. So what he speaks, the members out there follow. Because he has a church, I want to believe so. What he speaks, the members follow. What he says, they take it that this is actually what is contained biblically. And this is exactly what he has used the Bible to refer to an incident of what we are just talking about. And this is where the problem is. In fact, it is important for us to begin to identify such individuals. Because I think, if you recall, was it 2-3 years ago? No, in fact, a year ago. Mr. Chanda was on record where he raised an issue over the 3 church mother bodies when the British Commonwealth came around in Zambia, that the church should lead the peace initiative. I think it was on record where that most of the clergymen were hiding in the collar.
Right. Okay, let me... I know you want to respond, but just a quick one. Who is your district chairman. For Lumezi?
Yeah. District chairman for
Lumezi.
Lumezi district.
Yes.
No, Kalan, that's too much. Provincial chairman for Eastern Province. Then Lumezi. Lumezi
but
district.
You see, we came here to talk about unity.
Yes, I just asked
if we are going to be on set.
No.
To try and undermine. I'm hearing a lot of sentiments, and one thing we need to understand is that we are human beings.
Mr. President, the
we came. Let me state. I'm not emotional, but I need to put the facts on record.
We understand.
We came here to talk about unity. The unity of the country, that was a reference.
There's no harm along the way.
But now, if you are going to begin to make this as a show to try and undermine my leadership, number one, I will tell you one. New Congress Party, I've got 3 vice presidents. My first vice president is Sam Abenzo, vice president political affairs. The second vice president is Dr. Andrew Mumba, vice president for administration. I've got Mr. Mua, who is vice president for international relations and corporate affairs. Then I've got Secretary General, Mr. Daniel Nyati. I've got national chairman, Mr. Joseph Sambambi. I've got the chair, elections and defense, Mr. Bristow Amachila. So we have a composition of leadership that is united. Secondly, we have got leadership at all levels, and I did not come here to talk about my leaders.
You see that what you're explaining
across the country,
it's a sign of unity.
You understand?
Just from that question,
across the country, we have got provincial coordinators and provincial chairmen. And I did not come here to talk about that because, I came here to talk about national unity arising from the statement that I made. If you look at the statement that I made,
Mr. President,
any progressive, any person that has got a progressive mind will be able to state. Because number one, I was countering a statement. Because let me tell you, what caused the Rwandan genocide was a single statement. A simple statement from a particular media. And a statement like to say 4 idiots are sitting together to create a civil strife between the Bembas and the Tongas. I think every well-meaning Zambian should be able to commend the statement that I made.
Where is that statement? Where did you that statement?
Let's push it on.
Hello.
Check it on Operamini. Are you not on social media?
Okay, let's push it a phone call. Hello?
Hello, this is Dengo calling from Dora.
Yes, sir. Go ahead with your contribution.
Contribution and Naranda of the panel figure from the popular and
London.
Management to allow the Japanese, you know, as Mr. Karen. I don't want the confusion here at Monopoly Prime TV. You know, I started the program, the very much
Okay, kuchurch ku Camnet TV kuno.
Yo in Camnet TV. Ni TV ya change. And now I'm being so I think I will prepare no secondary and si ta sabia malista ku prime. Uko ku Camnet TV mweke. Elo amikuyepo. Balike kwa ami.
Mulanduanshi
you somebody coming from Northwest, you cannot support PF. That man is blue
okay, you can cut that. You can cut that particular. You can cut that particular com. Sorry, I'm not going to allow that. Where you say anybody who comes from Northwest cannot support PF. That's not the way you should speak, and that's what we are against. I will not allow you to speak like that, and I will not sit here and allow you to divide the country like that. So, I'm in order to cut you out. You can continue.
So, you see, the issue is, let's learn to respect people. To be honest, I wouldn't want to come here and be humiliated by the two of you.
No. I don't.
That's the reason why you find that there is that caller. That caller is called because when you look at the issue, you move away from the objective issues and you become subjective because you became basically subjective. To go to say who is your chairperson for Maize. I mean, what are you trying to get
emotions. When I ask who is your, you said your party has been in existence since 2004. Right. That's what you said. I'm asking, you said your party has been in existence since 2004.
No,
on that one, let me come down and just quote a scripture for you.
I'm clarifying why that question came in. It is your own word that you said your party has been in existence since 2004. And for me, there's nothing wrong, meaning 2004 is a long time you can have structures everywhere. So if I just choose randomly, who is your member in this? There's nothing wrong, Mr. President. And if you have somebody in Rumezi, it's just as simple as, no, our district chairman is this one. That's not trying to undermine you. If you've been in existence since 2004, and I just ask, who is your? You've just given us... When you look at it... You've just given us how many of your leaders that you have. So you cannot come and say, you as a leader, even last time I told you, as a leader, don't use emotions. We can have discussing unity on this program, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong to chip in with other issues. Okay. So what is...
Okay, now let me tell you one thing. Huh? This is what I stand on. They say hatred stirs up strife. And I'm one person who does not have any hatred. If you...
No, but my question has got no hatred.
If you hate me, I will tell you. If I feel hate, I will not go out without telling you to say, no, on this one, I think you have overstepped.
So if I ask you a question, who is your district chairman in
No, you are rising from his statement.
Your statement
and the statement was, his statement was coming from a point to say, the party does not have a national character. You understand? And then immediately you sneak in with that question.
Okay, you can read from here.
You say that the party has no national character is not correct, Mr. President.
That's what
I said. Indicate to us in the Constitution, Article 60 of the Constitution.
Okay, we are here to talk about national unity.
Mr. Mumba, let me make it clear, even when you come here. We are discussing national unity. There's no harm, even any program. You also have programs. You hold press briefings. Questions do not just come from what you've said at a press briefing. Yeah. There are other rising questions that we can chip in with. So I don't think that as a leader, when you are asked a question, which is very simple in nature, should raise an emotion.
No.
If you have
do you know that there is one point. What was the motive for you asking that question?
That's not an issue. Let's not even, this is a non-issue, Mr. President. We should not
even let's not go on that. Let's move on.
We should not even waste time on this because there are more important issues we can discuss as opposed to getting annoyed because we've been asked.
No, I'm down now. But I've told you. I've told you.
As a president, it's a simple question. No, I've forgotten. If I were your candidate, I've forgotten the name, but I will recall very soon. Because I mean, not even President Lungu, not even Aga Indesha, not even anybody can know who their district chairman in Rumezi is. It's not possible. So it's just a test of leadership.
My brother, this one.
What about you? You're going to
calm down as a leader.
No, you are my brother.
Calm down as a leader.
No. Let me tell you, I've calmed down, but one thing I need you to know is that no, I'm not an emotional being. I'm not an emotional being, but when I'm upset with something, I will flash it out immediately.
What type of being upset for being asked who they are?
No. It was the motive. You understand? You read the motive behind your question.
All right. At this stage, let me just say that talking of the Congress, you just talked about the Congress. 6 European members of Parliament have been arrested in Chilabombe for holding elections. The police on the Copper Belt have arrested 6 European members of Parliament. Among them is Cholwe Beyan. I'm sure you know Cholwe Beyan. Let's go through the messages. Don't bring such people. I don't know which such people. Watching from Mufira Lamek Kamanga, Professor says, Kiki, the guy has been teased. I don't know who's been teased. Justice Mtonga. This man, if I had the word, there's just something I can do to this man, Justice Mtonga. Justice Mtonga watching Camnet like I don't know. Watching from Choma. Justice, thank you so much for your support. Twambo Chongo, even him, that guy is analytical. Pastor Sunday, no, that is not something. Mr. Peter, you are a disappointment to the people of Zambia. The country is more divided. Where I live and work, I don't see that division. We mingle freely and Because the font is very small, so I have to strain to...
Supported the statement.
Okay, Peter, the surrogate is a disappointment to many. He is always out of bound. Okay, watching from Roma. We've read these. I'm sure those are just some of the statements that are coming through. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I think first and foremost, let's appreciate that he has raised a concern that we shouldn't be discussing issues of his political party. I think we'll take off from that. We need to discuss issues of national unity. But clearly, I think what is critical here, which we have to agree, that I think in this country, for us to promote unity, we must begin from the leadership. It cannot begin from the grassroots. Like he indicated that members of parliament, when you go, of course they eat together. I think I've been in a number of these places where they mingle around and so on. But right on the ground, there's no unity amongst the political parties. Today, in fact, I think social media has exposed a lot of these things where, you know, these cadres coming from different political parties, they would not want to see eye to eye. And this is my position actually, that in this country, political parties have failed Zambia. Political parties have failed Zambia. I'll just give you just an example. The people of Chawama constituency, for instance, as an example, every morning they wake up, go for work. Ask them, they are members of Chawama community. The people of Chawama come back to Chawama community, sleep, share what they have. But the politicians have walked in there with different political party names. And these different political party names have ended up dividing the people of Chawama constituency. And yet the people of Chawama, they will tell you, I come from Chawama. And it is the sentiments from political leaders like Chanda and many others that have divided this country.
Not
and
Chanda, President Chanda.
President Chanda and many others that have divided this country. And this is the more reason we are saying, I think political leaders, they should be mindful in the statements that they make out there. Because these statements, they have the potential to seriously divide this country. And in fact, he has even alluded to that elsewhere, such sentiments have created bigger problems. And we need to nip these problems in the bud. And I agree with him, if he sits here and he wants to promote peace and national unity, this is what we want to do. But it is the politicians themselves that actually have torn this country apart in terms of
Okay,
regions.
so let me get it. Mr. Chan, before I ask my question, you want to submit something?
Yes, I want to just echo something. Whatever we say with our mouth, I think I stated that I came with my Bible for one reason, and just to read out. I've read out one. Hatred stirs up strife. And my call in the political scene is to redefine. This is the Bible.
Which book and verse? Not Bible.
That is Proverbs chapter 10. Proverbs chapter 10
Just quickly read it.
and verse 12. It says, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins.
Right. Okay, let's just push in another phone call. Good morning.
Please, hello.
Yes, madam.
Hello.
Hello. You can go ahead with your contribution. Tell us your name.
My name is Mrs. Still calling from Eastern Province, but the thing is, the pastor should not be emotional, but be a good listener and slow to anger. Then this division of Chitimukulu and the others, they are just some people who want to bring tribalism. That's what I wanted to say, but they are not taking my call.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. We do appreciate it.
I have taken note. Okay. Now, the other scriptures that I came to read on this set are that hypocrisy with his mouth. That is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 9. It says, the hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor. The hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor. But through knowledge, the righteous will be delivered. Now, what we have seen and what we are seeing in the political scene currently are that, one, a lot of people have become hypocritical. They will say, they will show you a smile, but in their heart. And you know, hypocrisy is where you are saying what you don't stand on. You are saying what you don't believe. And for me, my take is this. In the political scene, we need to redefine the art and ensure that all of us become sincere. To be honest with you, if you look at my statement and the statement that I issued, I was basically responding to Siawan's statement, where he said, I curse you, President Lungu. It is there on Opera Mini. It is there on social media. I curse you, you will not have peace now, and you will not have peace after your election. And for us, we formed our party on the basis of the ground that posterity should be the right judge for us. We should build. We should have political engagement where whoever takes over, they do not destroy the foundation that is built. And the scripture is very clear. It says, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? Zambia has been peaceful. And if you look at, if you go through the same clip that you aired, I stated in that passionately that Zambia has been a Christian nation. Zambia has been a peaceful country.
All right.
And Zambians are peace-loving people.
We should be leaving the studio now. We are under 4 minutes now. So I think, but how come?
I want to just add one thing, Karen.
How come?
30 seconds.
So that's what I think.
Awe, bantu barechita mistake Sunday Chanda to me. If you look at the person who called, who said to say, yesterday you talked about, I never talked about HH, and I do not talk about HH.
Okay,
maybe 30 seconds, Karen.
You understand? So they quote Sunday Chanda and they cross me.
Mr. President.
It's not to do with the Sunday channel thing.
Mr. President,
it's to do with my question.
You have raised an issue.
Very quickly, we need to go now.
Yes, you have raised an issue which is in the Bible. I think I don't have a problem with that, but I think I want us also to appreciate that what you have raised has been summed up in the Constitution. If we go to the governing principles in the Constitution, Article 8 of the Constitution has provided the governing principles, and amongst of them is the morals. So if you speak about hypocrisy, speaks to the morals, and this is where the problem is, that we don't have morality in politics, and yet morality has been capped in the Constitution.
Yes.
And if we can have morals as leaders, now I'm speaking with the political leaders, if there are morals in the political leaders, even this strife, hate and many others will not be there. Let's differ on principles. Let's differ on ideology. Let's not differ as individuals in respect of us being Zambians. And this is how Zambia shall be best in terms of peace.
Yeah, I've seen, even colleagues in the studio, all of us have agreed. Even him, the smile is so loud.
This
you can shake his hand.
No, I don't think he's going to shake my hand. Okay, shake it.
This cousin of mine. No, for me, I would want to just say thank you for coming, for calling me here. And thank you for coming.
I'm trying to get a signal from my colleagues. You can continue talking. It's fine. Continue discussing. There's something I want to clarify.
I'll give you the number.
My colleagues from trying to give me a signal of something. But all right, take me out of the shot. Take me out of the shot. I just want to consult something from colleagues. This is what my colleague is trying to. How many minutes do we have? 5 minutes. I want to see you here. 5 minutes? Okay. Finishing up to 9. Right. Finishing up to 9. This is okay. Thank you so much. So finishing up to 9. So how many more minutes do we have now?
10.
This is 10 minutes. The question I wanted to ask is, you say that those in parliament, the politicians, the politicians, of course you're not in parliament, but you mingle, you would find each other to function. You talk and discuss. But why is it that when your members meet, there's nothing to discuss but just to fight? Then who steers that friction between those down there, whilst those up there keep on enjoying? By the way, I want to thank Honorable Mumbipiri, Deputy Secretary General of the Patriotic Front. There is a statement she issued to say, "Men, if you are beaten because you're involved in violence, that is your own fault." That was her. And I want to agree with her because Honorable Mumbipiri has made such a statement to me personally. She said, Mwanawandi, Chanachi Fikapavi. Inenga wasanga but now mumo kun PF card fiakwe. Nifisha chira kumukulwa. That is Honorable Madam BP. Even when I saw that clip circulating on social media, I said, this is her. She's told me these words in person. I've sat with her and she's just said it. If you are a PF card and you are beaten wherever you've gone because you are fighting, that is your own fault.
Now let me state one thing that we stand on as NCP. We are in to redefine the art of politics and create a better change. If you check my Facebook page, I was elected as president of NCP in 2015 when I returned from South Africa. So I've been in the formation of this party from 2004. The first president was Cosmas Peter Mwale, and he was on the helm of the party until 2015 when he died in 2014. Then after that, the National Executive Committee elected me as president. One thing that I can be able to tell you is that in redefining the art of politics, we are promoting peace as a party. That's the reason why you saw me speak in that form with a passion, so passionate about the civil strife looming or
Mr. President, we're under 10 minutes. The question
now,
is simple. Why
the
is
issue
it that
is,
you politicians up there to enjoy
the issue is that the mentality of the cadres, we have had the same mentality of the vigilantes from UNIP. Then we have the same cadres from the MMD. Cadres, when you look at the behavior, when you look at the behavior of the cadres,
it's not a cadre, it's you, the leaders. Why don't you change the narrative?
I'm just giving you now an example of how we are changing the narrative. I'll give you an example of our own cadres. I was at court, at the Magistrate Court, on the matter of the people versus Chimbagambwe. My cadres came to offer solidarity. I can tell you that they were beaten up by the cadres from NDC, but they never retaliated because we have taught our cadres never to engage. They simply went into the bus and went back to the office. And this is what we as a party we are encouraging. So when you look at us political leaders, it is imperative that we make statements, we issue statements to deter our cadres from any form of engagement. I think I've heard that from President Lungu. We need to have our cadres tamed. They understand that politics is simply a game of policies, and that is what I'm advancing.
Who buys these machetes? Who buys these guns? Who buys for
I'm happy that the Zambia police has put their foot down, and I'm sure you saw. We need to commend the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations for the job well done on that particular day. And you saw.
Which day?
On that day on court, where one PF cadre who came to try and be unruly was even picked up, beaten by the police and locked up. So I'm happy that the Zambia police, they've put their foot down. My prayer is to see a Zambia where we respect the rule of law.
The questions. I mean, I've posed so many questions here,
but it take us a lot of time.
No, I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm saying, who buys these machetes, the guns? Who buys them?
No. Look, the cadres have got. No. You cannot control the mind of the cadres. That's one thing that you need to know.
Yes, I think first and foremost, I'm highly elated that is able to commend the work of the police. What happened in whatever happens in terms of probably beating up a suspect and so on, but bringing law and order, we must commend the police, and they must be given this, impetus from politicians like him. But I want also President Chanda to appreciate here that this feeling, especially of political parties that side with government, did not start with him. I want him probably to draw back into history that we used to have a political party that was being run by Siulapwa. I think you recall?
Yes.
Exactly. Siulapwa supported every statement that came from the MMD. I think you can recall in that time. But the statements that came from Siulapwa were not uniting. Actually, they were more dividing than uniting. What happened when the PF got into government? Siulapwa first ran out of this country.
He went to America.
Why? Because he knew that the statements that he was promoting during and under the MMD were statements that actually were dividing the nation and were actually against another political party, such that he was thinking that political party, when it comes into power, they are going to arrest him. But I'm happy that PF didn't do that. I think we must commend them for that. And this is why we are coming in
but
here.
He went to America for a long time, then he just came later on.
It's fine, Karan, but at least they probably could have been asked.
Forgotten about him.
So these are the statements that even today, Mr. President, that the Zambians actually refer to. Because that these statements that come, if your statement, for instance, I've never heard you, now since you have actually clarified that you are in an alliance with the Patriotic Front, but in as much as that you are in an alliance with the Patriotic Front, I could have at least heard you a statement just that support the opposition political parties. Because why? You are in the opposition political party. You are a government in waiting. You have policies that probably you may not agree with government.
He says he's taking over from President Edgar Lungu. True or false?
2026.
Oh, no wonder you had issued that. Remember the statement that you issued?
Yes.
You issued a statement that we should allow President Lungu to run up until 2026.
Yeah, he's the one who
He's eligible. We went to Concord.
Yes.
We are the petitioners that took the matter to Concord. If you look at, let me state the way we participate in the governance issues. If you look at when the first statement came out to say President Lungu for 2021, the people in the Copper Belt and everywhere, other fellow opposition political parties decided to take to the street. They wanted to do massive protest across the country. But us, with other three, me and Dr. Dan Pule, Right Msoma, and Mwanza, we took the matter to the Constitutional Court. I think to try and ensure that the country is not put
and after the Concord
judgment
delivered
that President Lungu is eligible
to stand. I heard statements from
and
you that
we have stated basically on that point. We have stated to say the 2021 we still remain with this alliance. 2026 I'll definitely stand for.
But you know the statement is not that in terms of the law. The statement is not that President Lungu is eligible.
No, he is.
No, I'm not arguing that whether he is or not, but I'm talking about the decision of the Concord did not state that President Lungu is eligible.
They stated, if you read that judgment, they stated to say...
I've read it.
Yes.
But doesn't specify, because President Lungu actually...
They stated to say the fact that, that's an underlying statement.
Okay,
the fact that the first question has been answered, that the tenure of office ranging from January 2015 to August 2016 did not constitute in the term, it means it answers the other.
Okay.
Because
we don't have time. I think we would have
no, that's a discussion for another day.
That's it.
I know others have got a different opinion, and legal minds, I've discussed with a lot of legal minds who are saying that he's not eligible. The Constitution is very clear. That's another discussion I'm bringing on the table.
No, how come?
All right. Not for you, but...
with you.
No. Your concluding remarks under 10 seconds.
I think this should be the spirit.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately for me, I'm not coming from any political party.
Thank you.
But this should be the spirit from political leaders that allow discussions, allow to differ on principles. But please, let's stick to our people on the ground that they are united. We still remain Zambians.
Well, I want to first and foremost commend the management for bringing me and commend my brother here and also my brother. I want to state one thing. Zambia is a unitary state. We are one Zambia, one nation. And what is important is that our cadres should be able to understand that we should not be hypocrites that causes strife in the country. We need to unite the country. We need to understand that politics is simply a game of policies. The ones with the better policies, they carry the day. And the ones with, if the Zambian people have not bought into your policies, try next time. That's why we always have an election.
We've come to the end of the breakfast show today on the Rise and Thrive. Everybody will find something nice or good in you. So we stand in an environment where others will enjoy what you do, others will not just like what you do. So we thank those that are for or against either this institution and individuals and so on. That's what democracy entails. Democracy entails that people are free to discuss whatever they want to discuss. Thank you so much to President Peter Chanda,
God bless.
NCP, and of course,
Okay.
All right, good morning.
All right.
We can do this.
Yeah, we can do the.